Hi, this is Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNNLive. We're coming live from the 16th Annual B. Riley & Company Investor Conference here in Hollywood, California. I have with me Michael Noonan, Finjan. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is FNJN. Michael, welcome to SNNLive.
Well, thanks, Shelley. Really appreciate you having us on here.
It's good to have you. So let's get an overview for our audience on Finjan.
Sure. So Finjan is a 2-decade-old company, began in Israel in the mid-90s. We were a cybersecurity company before cybersecurity was even a term. We have licensed over $150 million in revenues to date. We're going to continue that process, and we're also developing some new applications and products out there.
So what can you tell me about one or two particular cybersecurity products, because it happens to be a very favorite subject of mine?
Sure. So the first thing is mobile applications. We're now developing some cybersecurity applications for your mobile phone, Android and iPhone, the iOS system, operating system. These will be out in a beta format, I'm going to say, in the next 60 to 90 days.
So let me ask you a question. What are you doing with these phones? What's the technology?
So we're using our history and legacy in the cybersecurity business to help consumers protect their data on their phones. In other words, layering and giving you another level of security so that you know the information that you're sharing with the outside world.
Wow. I want it. When will that be ready? 60 days beta?
Beta 60 to 90 days. We've got engineers working on it right now, and we'll have a for-pay product shortly thereafter.
What else is going on?
So a couple of really exciting things. The other business is a new cybersecurity consulting business that we're developing. We believe, and this will be to the enterprise, to corporate enterprise. That'll be launched towards the end of this year, but we think we'll have revenue from that business this year.
You know, I would imagine that, you don't have to do any more than listen to the news, watch the news, or read the news to know that cybersecurity is so needed and it's a growing business. In your mind's eye, how big a market is this today? And by the end of, let's say, 2016, how will that industry grow? Part two, how do you fit into that?
Well, it is a massive market. I would say, off the top of my head, $20 billion a year right now, growing at high rates, very high rates. Gartner Group estimates that we'll have 15 years minimum of solid double-digit growth. So it is a big concern, though. Individuals are concerned about their data. Corporations are concerned about their data. And Shelley, I'll put it to you this way. When companies do get a cyber attack or get hacked, it's not the dollar value that they've lost on it, it's the reputation, the customer reputation.
Which is damaging with their customer base, with their clients. So how in particular are you solving that dilemma? If you could expound on that.
Sure. Well,
if you're allowed to, if it's not.
I think so. Our technology, the current patents that we have and the licensing that we do is behavior-based threat detection. So what that does is, say in the 90s, remember the old days, in the 90s, where a virus would come into your network and then an engineer would write code, an antivirus code. Mm-hmm. That was very reactive. What behavior-based threat detection is in looking, there's these characteristics that these viruses have, and it prevents them from actually entering into your network.
Well, I like the fact that you go way back in the industry, all the way to the 90s.
Right.
And you said that the company was begun in Israel. Is it still, attached to technology being developed there?
We have a really good investment with the Jerusalem Venture Partners. This group, that's an incubator, they have developed some of the most leading edge technologies in the world as it relates to cybersecurity.
How do you make money off of your patent portfolio?
Sure, and that is a good question. So we've garnered over $150 million out of our licensing program to date. Our most recent license was with F-Secure that we just closed in April. We have 6 concurrent litigations going on with a variety of companies. we'll have 4 to 5 times that many discussions going on with other companies that haven't moved to litigation. We hope to license.
Now, this is good because that's a good answer because that's revenue in the bank.
Absolutely.
Second question is, sometimes when you settle, you might get a royalty arrangement moving forward because what's the difference? How you generate the income, right?
That is true. So in some of our licenses, we do have royalty targets. A lot of the times, though, the licensees, they don't want to see us again, and they'll just, all right, we'll pay you, goodbye.
So now we're almost finished with 2015, if we may. Time flies. By the end of 2016, Finjan, where are we?
Well, we're back to being an operating company with mobile applications, consulting services. We'll have a bunch of court cases under our belt, so we should have a lot of cash in the till. Our first court case is coming up here in July 20th against Blue Coat in the Northern District of California. We expect good results.
You know, people watch that stuff. I mean, you know, when you're in the business of making money off of lawsuits, people watch your, success because once it starts to continue, doesn't it?
Absolutely. We've had a good positive cadence of results right now in our licensing team. We've had several successful Markmans, which is a case management conference, and sets the tone for the trial, if you like. And we expect that those trends will continue.
So now we have an audience that wants to know more information about you. What's your background?
So I've been a chief financial officer for public companies for well over a decade. I've always worked in the finance field. I'm actually a lawyer as well. Sorry, I know you don't like that, but anyway.
No, we don't hold that against you. Right. Everybody needs one.
Very good, very good. I've done a lot of intellectual property as well. A previous assignment, I worked for Forgent Networks, and we garnered over $150 million out of our patent portfolio. Nice.
Your website is?
Finjan.com, Finjan.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Noonan, Finjan, FNJN. It's a publicly traded company. I'm Shelley Crabb. This is SNNLive, and we're coming to you live from the 16th Annual B. Riley & Company Investor Conference in Hollywood, California. Michael, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks again for having us, Shelley.
Anytime.